Sarah leases a brand new car for $500 a month. Mike drives an 8-year-old paid-off Honda and puts $500 a month into an index fund instead. They work the same job, sit 2 desks apart, and make the exact same salary. Sarah thinks she made the responsible adult choice. Mike thinks he's being smart with his money. 10 years later, one of them has built almost $100,000 in wealth from that decision alone, and the other has nothing to show for it but a stack of old lease agreements. Let's find out which one, because it's probably not who you think. Let's level the playing field first. Sarah and Mike both work at the same marketing agency. Both make $58,000 a year. Both are 27 years old. Both have about $8,000 in savings and no major debt. The only difference between them, starting today, is how they handle their next car and where that $500 a month goes. Sarah walks into a dealership and leases a new SUV. $500 a month, 36-month lease, nothing down beyond the first payment in fees. 3 years later, the lease is up, and she does what most lease customers do. She walks into another dealership and signs another lease. New car smell, no repair bills, the newest safety features every single time. She feels like she's playing it safe. No surprise mechanic visits, no wondering if the transmission is about to go. Mike does something less exciting. He buys his coworker's 8-year-old Honda Civic for $6,000 cash, using savings, no loan. The car isn't pretty. It's got 90,000 miles on it and a small dent in the rear bumper he never bothers to fix. He pays maybe $400 a year in maintenance. And every month, the $500 he's not spending on a car payment goes straight into a total market index fund on autopilot. He doesn't think about it again. On day 1, Sarah is driving something that turns heads in the office parking lot. Mike is driving something nobody notices. If you asked their coworkers who's doing better financially, almost everyone would say Sarah. That's the trap. What you can see and what's actually happening are two completely different stories. Here's the first hidden layer. Depreciation. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot, and about 50% of its value by year 5. Sarah doesn't own her car, so on paper this shouldn't matter to her. But it matters more than she realizes, because that depreciation is exactly what's baked into her lease payment. The dealership calculates her monthly payment based on how much value the car will lose while she's driving it, plus interest, plus fees. She's paying for the decline in value in real time, every single month, and walking away with nothing at the end. Mike's Honda has already done most of its depreciation years ago. Its value barely moves now. He bought it near the bottom of the depreciation curve instead of the top. Second hidden layer. Interest and fees baked into the lease. Most people think leasing means you're just paying for the car's usage. In reality, every lease includes something called the money factor, which is essentially an interest rate disguised in a different format. On Sarah's lease, that works out to an effective interest rate of around 6 to 8%, and she's paying it on a rapidly depreciating asset. Add in acquisition fees, disposition fees at the end of the lease, and mileage overage charges if she goes over her limit, and the real cost of that $500 a month is higher than the sticker number suggests. Third hidden layer. Insurance. New leased vehicles typically require full coverage insurance with higher liability limits, which the leasing company mandates. Sarah's insurance runs about $180 a month. Mike's older, paid-off Civic qualifies for a much cheaper policy, liability plus minimal coverage, since the car isn't worth much anyway. He pays about $70 a month. That's $110 a month difference, over $1,300 a year, that never even shows up when people compare car payments. Fourth hidden layer, and this is the big one. Opportunity cost. Every dollar Sarah sends to the leasing company is a dollar that can never work for her again. It's gone. It paid for depreciation and interest on someone else's asset. Every dollar Mike sends to his index fund keeps compounding, year after year, whether he thinks about it or not. Let's run the actual numbers. Year 1. Sarah has paid $6,000 in lease payments. She has no equity, no assets, nothing to show beyond a car she has to give back. Mike has paid $6,000 into his index fund. At a 10% average annual return, that's already grown to roughly $6,300. He also has his $6,000 Honda, which has held its value fairly well and is worth close to what he paid for it. Year 3. Sarah's first lease ends. She's paid $18,000 total in payments over 3 years and walks away with nothing. She immediately signs a new lease and the cycle restarts. Mike has contributed $18,000 to his portfolio. With compound growth, it's sitting around $20,700. His Honda is worth maybe $4,500 now, still an asset, still his. Year 5. Sarah is 2 years into her second lease, having paid roughly $30,000 in total lease payments across 5 years. Still nothing to show for it. Mike's portfolio, with continued $500 monthly contributions and 10% average returns, has grown to approximately $38,000. That's real, liquid, growing money. His car has depreciated further, but he owes nothing on it and never will. Year 7. Sarah signs her third lease. Total paid across 7 years, roughly $42,000. Mike's portfolio is now around $58,000. The gap isn't just growing, it's accelerating, because Mike's gains are now generating more new money each year than his contributions alone. Year 10. Sarah has paid approximately $60,000 in lease payments over a decade and owns 0 cars. She's currently 3 years into her fourth lease. Mike's portfolio has grown to somewhere between $95,000 and $100,000. He's contributed $60,000 total, the exact same amount Sarah spent, and the other $35,000 to $40,000 is pure compound growth. He also still has a car, now worth very little, but paid off and reliable enough to keep driving. 10 years. Same $500 a month. Same starting salary. One of them has almost $100,000 sitting in an account working for her. The other has spent the same total dollar amount and has nothing but a monthly payment that never stops. Now, before you swear off car payments forever, let's steelman Sarah's side, because leasing isn't automatically a bad decision for everyone. Reliability is real. Sarah has never had a surprise repair bill. Every car she's driven has been under full manufacturer warranty the entire time she's owned it. Mike's Honda, even with regular maintenance, has needed a new alternator, brake work, and a set of tires over 10 years, costing him roughly $2,800 total, which I already factored into his numbers. But that's still a risk Sarah never carries. Safety technology matters too. Sarah has had automatic emergency braking, lane departure warnings, and the newest airbag systems in every car she's driven. Mike's Civic, while reliable, is running 8 to 18-year-old safety tech by the end of this comparison. And there's a lifestyle argument. If your job requires reliable transportation with zero downtime, a small business owner who can't afford a car in the shop for a week, a lease with a loaner car guarantee might genuinely be worth the premium. Peace of mind has value, even if it doesn't show up in a compound interest calculator. But here's the question almost nobody asks before signing a lease. Did you compare the payment to what that same money could have become somewhere else? Sarah never ran that number. She compared her lease payment to what a car payment should feel like, not to what $500 a month could build over a decade. The real takeaway isn't that leasing is always wrong or that everyone should drive a 10-year-old Honda. It's that a car payment is one of the largest, longest, most repeated financial decisions most people make, and almost nobody treats it that way. They compare monthly payments to their paycheck. They rarely compare it to their future net worth. If you're going to finance or lease a car, at minimum know the real numbers. Know the effective interest rate hiding in the payment. Know the insurance delta. Know what that same monthly amount could grow into if it went somewhere else instead. You don't have to choose the boring car. You just have to know what the exciting one is actually costing you. So the next time you're sitting across from a salesperson and they tell you $500 a month is basically nothing, ask yourself one question. Nothing compared to what?